Minnesota Vikings are constantly looking to improve, revamp, and rebuild the offensive line, even though they're making some pretty good steps. They have tentpole prospects in Garrett Bradbury as well as Brian O'Neill. But what about the other side? What about the other side of the offensive line? Should they be in on USC tackle Austin Jackson? Now, the left tackle, not the jabroni former center fielder for the Detroit Tigers. Now, screw that. Screw that. Screw that. But Austin Jackson, USC, let's dive in today. So, 6'6", 310 pounds, former four-star recruit from Phoenix, Arizona, all the way to Tacoma. Was the number one recruit in the entire state of Arizona in the class of 2017. Big-time deal. Committed to the Trojans, and then now is coming into the draft declared as a true junior. So, he's young. He's young AF. He was born in May of 1999, which is just making me feel great that some of these draft prospects are going to come in born in the 2000s, which is just, whatever. So, meaning he's going to be 20 years of age when he gets drafted. He's going to be 21 through his rookie season in the NFL, so he's got age on his side. Played in 14 games as a true freshman back in the day. Took over the starting left tackle job in 2018 as a true sophomore, starting 12 games and recording a 78.8 PFF pass blocking grade, allowing only 17 pressures. And then 2019, came back in, ran it back, starting left tackle for the Trojans, Clay Helton and his squad, and was named first team All Pac-12, posting a relatively clean sheet his junior season. Now, the first thing that you're going to notice about him, if you put on some Austin Jackson film, is his size. Like, he's got purely prototypical NFL size, NFL length. Now, if they're going into a lab and trying to put together an NFL left tackle, you'll come out with something resembling Austin Jackson, where he's got the height, he's got the long arms, probably going to be in the 35, 36 inch length range, as well as you like everything about him, where he's got the good. Also has pretty good athleticism. He should be testing well at the combine, and I think that he could be one of these late risers in the draft as well. Because at first blush, to me, just stylistically, he sort of reminds me of Bears left tackle Charles Leno. Just watching the way that they hop step back into pass protection, as well as their ability in the run game. I sort of see it, but of course that's with my untrained, uncouth scouting eye. Yeah. So now, first things first. I get it. If you're going to scout the helmet, you're like, another USC offensive tackle, OMG. Can't you remember Matt Khalil? Well, if we'd done can't draft another USC offensive lineman, we would have passed on Tyron Smith. That would have been great. Or Chuma Adaga, who's going to turn out pretty damn well, pretty damn good for the Jets as well. I think he's a 5th-round pick. Loved him in the draft process last year. Get it. Fully understand. But also, have to be honest here. Have to be fully honest here. Now, his biggest issue is his feet. So now that we have Rex Ryan's attention, footwork is not great. And bad footwork is either a sign of A, not good coaching, or B, not listening to good coaching. So now the former is fixable. Latter is probably tougher to be fixed, right? So there is some balance issues, and he does lunge at times in pass protection or even in the run game as well. And he does lunge instead of getting his feet under him. So at times when he gets beat, and sometimes he gets beat bad, it does remind me a little bit of TJ Clemmings. Where, remember, TJ Clemmings had all the size, was everything prototypical, but his feet didn't match up with the rest of his body. It was constantly lunging, constantly reaching, and not in a good way. And that is something that you can get away with in college football, even in the Pac-12, but you're not going to do that in the NFL, right? So right now, he's certainly a project, certainly a lot of fundamentals that need to get fixed, but the potential is certainly there. I think he has a sky-high ceiling, because right now, to me, he's like a big school Ole Udo, where when Ole Udo is coming out of Elon, all the physical tools in the world, needs a lot of refinement on technique, and I think the Vikings will get something down the line out of the 6th-round pick, Ole Udo. But with Jackson, I mean, a couple problems. So number one, I don't think he's a day one starter. I think that barring injury or barring acts of God, alien abduction, all that other stuff, I don't think you feel comfortable with him as your day one starting left tackle. I just really don't. You would love for him to sit a year, get acclimated to the NFL game, get a year of NFL coaching under him, a la what the Eagles did or have done with Andre Dillard when they made him a first-round pick out of Washington State. I loved Andre Dillard, by the way. Have him sitting behind Jason Peters, grooming him to be the left tackle of the future. I think that's a perfect plan. Also, I mean, stylistically and rawness, he does remind me of Titus Howard when he was coming out of Alabama State, where you had all the physical tools. There's a lot of refinement that needed to be done, but Houston, a team that had a lot of need on offensive line, ended up making him the 23 overall pick last season. Now, was that a reach? You can make the case, but also with the given the state of offensive line around the league, you understand that. And also, I think it may push Jackson into the first round. So the Vikings, if they're on the clock at 25 and he's still sitting there chilling, it's going to be a tough decision. Where are you really comfortable drafting a guy that you don't want to start his first season, ideally, at 25 overall. Now, again, we said all this about Brian O'Neill when they took him at 62 overall in 2018, where it's like ideally you want him to sit, but he was thrown the deep end of the pool because of injuries to Rashad Hill, and it turned out pretty damn good. So maybe Austin Jackson takes that path as well. But I would say if he's there at 25, if you do your due diligence, he checks out, he's at the top of your draft board, take him, play him as a 6 offensive lineman in heavy sets, even though the Vikings don't really do that anymore, even though they should. Sit him behind Reef a year, take over the starting job in 2021. I think that's a plan that I could get behind because I love Austin Jackson's potential, but I mean, man, it's still tough to just burn a first-round pick on a guy that you want to redshirt, but it is what it is at this point. But your thoughts, Austin Jackson, USC, drafting him? Let us know in the comment section below. Also, subscribe for Daily Vikings takes. You want to support the work, pull us on the Venmo, plus give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skol Production.